Home, Chapter 20. A Miraculous Ladybug Fanfiction written and narrated by Mira Rose. Artwork provided by XAA on Tumblr. You can find a link to the artist in the description box. If you haven't already, don't forget to not only subscribe, but hit that bell to stay up to date on the latest parts of your favorite fanfiction. I'm looking at the analytics, guys, and we're in the YouTube average for how many of you have hit that bell, but if we could pump up that percentage, that would be really cool. Anyway, if you're still listening to this intro, don't forget, smash that like button and leave a comment saying Chapter 20! Also, bonus points if you actually comment your reaction to the chapter in general, and not just the comments of the day. But both are good. I like both. Anyway, Chapter 20. Marinette Dupang Chang. He still hasn't come, Tiki. Marinette laid, spread eagle, on her bed, staring at the ceiling. It was her fault. This was her fault. She shouldn't have been so rash in her decision. And she couldn't get him back. The last 3 days were something out of a fever dream. Thankfully, there hadn't been an Akuma, because she wouldn't know what to do without Cat. He was so essential. Marinette, Tiki began. Sugar and cookies. She had jumped the gun, and as a hypocrite, no less. It's not like she hadn't used the miraculous for personal gain. So why did she do it? Why would she abandon her best friend like that? And why hadn't he come back? Marinette curled up, lonely and blanketed in guilt, and turned the jagged stone song up. Marinette, look out! It was Tiki. Peeking her eyes open to the contrasting daylight, she saw an Akuma fluttering around the room. No. Nuh-uh, not today. Tiki, she began, throwing herself off the bed and at the little evildoer. A quick transformation and target acquisition later, the butterfly was taken care of. That was a close one, Tiki exclaimed, shaking off the excess light particles after Ladybug detransformed back into Marinette. You need to be more careful. Honestly, Marinette sighed, plopping onto the chase. I'm surprised he hasn't been akumatized yet. He's a strong boy, Mare. She stayed quiet for a moment. Not strong enough to not be Cat Blanc. Well, that was... Tiki trailed off. Do you know something I don't know? I didn't say anything. You know, it's funny. In that timeline, he knew I was Marinette. Me. Ladybug. She rolled onto her side. I can't believe I told him. Well, Tiki began again. I mean, what if that's part of why he got akumatized in the first place? Marinette, that's... even having superpowers won't save me from being a klutz. Marinette groaned, rolling onto her stomach to scream into the cushion. You're one of the best ladybugs I've seen, Marinette, Tiki said, making herself at home on her shoulder. Until 3 days ago, you mean? You had your reasons, and I didn't fight you on them. I'm so... She yelled into the fabric. She didn't want this. She didn't want any of this. Marinette wished she could turn back time and undo this week. But she couldn't. Reaching to the chain hanging around her neck, Marinette traced the links down to where the Cat Noir ring hung and squeezed. Oh, Cat Noir. She'd failed you. didn't she? Plag? She tried again, throwing her gaze to the small tent the Kwame set up on her desk. He'd refused to speak with her over the last few days, and she couldn't blame him. Trying again, Marinette grabbed a piece of camembert and put it in front of the fabric abode. An arm shot out, sweeping the cheese inside with a black blur, but no verbal communication. Yeah, okay. Sounds about right. Plag, I'd like to give the ring back to your owner. Glowing green eyes peeked through the mouth of the tent, narrowing in suspicion when they acquired her in their line of sight. Like you said, you're a hypocrite, Plag said, and you're bribing me with cheese. Is it working? Working? Yes, but you're nowhere near the amount I need. Sigh. How did Cat afford to feed this bottomless pit? She'd used all of her allowance and had to dip into her savings, but even that wouldn't last long at this rate. Tiki? She asked, turning to her confidant. You know who he is. Could you take me to him? We've been over this, Marinette. Tiki shook her head. It's not my place to reveal the identity of another miraculous holder. But I'm the guardian. Even so, you wouldn't want me to tell Cat your identity if something were to happen, would you? Marinette knew she was right, but still hated it. Curse her sense of responsibility. The only way she'd find out Cat's identity was through Plag, but she might go bankrupt first. All she could do was hope he didn't get akumatized from this. That, and find another Cat Noir in the meantime. Yeah, no one would be as good as he would be, but she'd have to make do. How did Master Fu choose them anyway? Surely there was some kind of grandeur test he gave them, or he asked the cosmos or something. She pulled out the handkerchief Cat was secretly working on. Home is where Marin was all it said so far. A work in progress, yet to be finished in all its glory. Home is where she is, huh? Then why hadn't he come to see her? Or reach out in a different way? Looks like she wasn't the only hypocrite in their relationship. If she was his home, he would have contacted her by now. Marinette felt her phone buzz in her back pocket and slid it out to see another Pusheen sticker, this one laugh-crying, and a joke from Adrian. He'd turned her latest response into a pun. She smiled at it, but was too in mourning over Cat Noir for it to give her butterflies. Besides, he had a girlfriend anyway. Oh, foolish girl. Only she could go back in time. Even Cat could see her hypocrisy. He'd called her out on giving Adrian special treatment. She hadn't realized she'd been so oblivious. Oh, how she yearned for comfort. Maybe she could pull a Cat Noir and visit one of her friends as Ladybug to take her mind off things. But who? Alia? Nah, too many interview questions. Definitely not Chloe either. She's not a friend, that's for sure. Adrian, perhaps? Nah, he has a girlfriend. Besides, the last time she stopped by unannounced, it triggered a timeline that ended in Cat Blanc. Nino? Yeah, she could always swing by Nino. Wait, no, he's with Alia right now. But wait, there was no more Cat Noir, so her visiting Adrian wouldn't trigger the akumatization, right? Right! She could visit Adrian. No, he's probably busy, and she didn't want to be that kind of selfish. Adrian's the kind of guy who would feel bad about not being available if she swung by. Julika? Rose? Mylene? Kagami? Marinette didn't know what to do anymore. Her head was swirling and she didn't know how to make it stop. That's all she wanted. She wanted these tormenting, swirling thoughts to stop. She thought about every minute detail over and over and over again, and all she wanted was for the circle to stop. Let her get off this torture of a ride. Throwing her pillow over her head, Marinette screamed. It wasn't a release of any kind, because she didn't let it be loud enough for her parents to hear. She messed up. She messed up. She messed up. Oh, sugar and cookies, she messed up. Could she ever get forgiveness? Could she ever earn forgiveness? Marinette didn't know. Thank you so much for listening. Chapter 21 is on the way. Instead of commenting, OMG, is there going to be a chapter 21? Because, I literally just told you. How about instead you comment, I don't know, sugar and cookies. Anyway, I will catch you in the next one. Bye!